So today, I'm going to build something I've been planning for years, and that is a tool wall. I've been dreaming about this for a long time, but my workshop looked like this. But I spent some time cleaning it, and now it's time for me to get my life together. I mean, my workshop together. So here's the plan. I'm gonna make this whole wall a pegboard wall, and then organize and hang all the tools. So I went to the store, picked up a couple 4x8 sheets of pegboard, and now I'm getting ready to measure the space so that I can cut them. So there's gonna be a couple challenging cuts. Cutting around this cabinet over here. I haven't even thought about this window yet. And also, this goes up here, so I have to hang it first so that I can cut around it too. Boy, this is really heavy. I'm gonna have to get creative hanging this. It's like really heavy. Does it work? It's a good question. We're good. And the reason I was wondering is because I bought this on clearance, so it was like half price, and I never tested it. So first thing I'm gonna do, oops, I'm gonna put a piece of wood here because I want it level at the bottom with this cabinet so that I can put that on top of this piece that's gonna be there. I'll figure it out from there. I'm kind of figuring this out as I go, by the way. It looks like it's simple though. This goes in the wall, and this just kind of hooks onto it, kind of like a French cleat. So I just have to mount this, but I gotta figure out like how high to mount it first. I made pilot holes on the piece of scrap wood to avoid cracking, and then I screwed it to the studs temporarily to help me hold the shelf. I'm also trying to do this on a budget, so I'm trying my best to use what I already have, like the scrap wood and this shelf that I bought a long time ago. Nice. The question is, how do I, I have an idea. All right, so I took the door off, and my plan is to clamp it to this cabinet, and hopefully that'll keep this in place so that I can hang it, or I can like do whatever I need to do without having to hold it at the same time. Please don't fall, please don't fall. Come on. Okay. Oh, that worked. That worked. Let's put the other one just in case. I guess what I gotta figure out now is I have to put a stud in between the studs here, like a little, forgot what it's called. But I gotta put a piece of wood in between the studs here so that I have something to mount that bracket onto. And the reason I need it up here is because I need to figure out where I'm gonna put that stud or the piece of wood. Finally, after I got the metal shelf in place, I was able to mark where the mounting bracket goes. And then I cut a piece of scrap wood to size to fit in between the studs. One of my jobs when I'm recording is to get camera angles where you can actually see what I'm doing. Anyways, as you can see, I got the wood in between the studs, so now I have somewhere to mount the metal shelf for the drill. That ain't moving. Mounting the bracket was pretty straightforward. I just had to make sure that it was level, and then I drilled pilot holes on the wood so that it wouldn't split when I put the screws through. Now let's see if I actually did this the way I was supposed to. Okay, something's not right. aren't you getting in? Please don't fall. Do not fall. Why? It's the cable. Get the out of the way. There you go. There. I think so. Okay. I think I got it. So I have to support the back, because see here, the back is like against the stud, but this is against nothing here. So I actually have to support that so it's not wobbly. So I'm just gonna put this same piece behind there, and that should be it for this part at least. It probably would have been easier before I hung this thing, but whatever. There, now it's stable. I just got done measuring this, so I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting the pegboard. I did like a little drawing just to kind of help me figure out the weird shapes. Also, what I think I'm gonna do is this section is going to be one cutout, and then this section is gonna be its own cutout. Two reasons for that. One is easier for me to cut instead of trying to cut all in one piece and do the tedious cutouts. Two, if I ever need to remove a section, it'll be easier to do one small section rather than having to remove the whole wall. What do you think? So I marked the two little cutouts that I have to do, and I'm gonna use the jigsaw to cut them out. Got it. First try. I got it. I had to stop for the evening because the weather was not having it today. So I decided to call it quits, and I will continue this tomorrow. The next day, I started by measuring the other side and making my little drawing that helps me visualize what I need to cut. Putting up the other side seemed like it would be easy since I could use a full sheet and put it up all at once instead of cutting it into pieces, until I realized that the sheet is bigger than me and kind of heavy. I just thought it would be simple putting the pegboard wall on top of the sawhorses, but it wasn't working out, so I went to my trailer to get these roller thingies, hoping that when I pull the pegboard, it would just roll onto the sawhorses. Finally, after getting the pegboard in place, I did all the cutouts needed. Did I mention that this pegboard is a lot bigger than me? Come on. What? I think I gotta cut it off a little bit more on this side. There's like a piece of wood that's preventing it. So I think I gotta cut that a little bit more. Other than that, this is fine. Yeah. Okay, it's fine. I'll just cut it. Alright, cut it out a little bit more, so that should work. But before I go and test fit it again, this thing's heavy and kind of annoying to put on. So I am gonna paint it first, and it should fit after that. I'm pretty confident that's gonna fit with the little cutout I did. Let's talk about paint. Part of me wanted to go crazy and do, you know, some crazy colors like this. But then I realized it's not really going to work with the rest of the room. It's not gonna look right. Part of me wanted to do some earthy colors, but I don't have enough spray paint to do that. So I'm going to be boring and do black. My number one rule when I decided I was gonna paint this wall is that I had to do it with the paint I already have. Because if you didn't see my last video, I had to get rid of a lot of paint that I've been hoarding for years. And I promised to be better about that, so I'm gonna use paint I already have. So I just checked the weather, and it's supposed to start raining in an hour. So hopefully this is dry enough for me to like grab it and put it inside when it starts raining. Every black spray paint I had was different. Some of them were flat, some of them were satin, and then I had this hammer black paint, which I thought would look pretty cool because it kind of has a texture and it looks like metal. So I did the base coat in whatever black I had, and then I decided to do the hammer paint on top. But I don't think that was a good idea, because it ended up looking spotty and the color was inconsistent for one of the cans, which I think the can was just bad, but the other can of paint came out fine. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough paint to recoat it and fix it, but since the walls are going to be covered with tools, it's not really going to be that noticeable. Remember that I was confident that this was gonna fit? Well, it didn't. I cut it a little bit more here, but I think I can just do it with the multi-tool here. And this thing is so heavy and so annoying that I don't want to take it back out and put it back up. I'd rather climb up here and do it up here. Don't judge me. I got the walls up. I'm not in love with how the color came out. I like the color itself because it matches really good with the countertop. That hammer color is really good. It's not like super dark black. It's like has like a brownish tint to it. So the color is nice, but in order for it to look right, I needed like 5 more cans and I only had 2. So it looks a little bit blotchy, but we're gonna say it has character. Plus, it's gonna be completely covered, like mostly covered with tools. So it's okay. It'll be okay. I'm not gonna let it bother me. I got all the main tools that I use out that I want to hang on here. And I didn't plan this part ahead of time at all because honestly I wasn't sure what I was gonna do, and I wanted to see the space and how much space the tools take before I hang them. So I don't have enough thingies like hooks and stuff to hang these, so I gotta find some or make some. I'd rather find them because that's probably what I'm gonna do the next day that I work on this, is hang everything, organize it, make it look pretty. So I went and got more thingies so I can hang the tools, and I got like really thick ones because these tools are heavy, so I'm not gonna hang them just on the pegboard because it'll break. This is like MDF, so it won't really hold anything heavy, but I got some thick boys over here, and I'm gonna build like support to screw them onto it because again, the pegboard alone is not gonna hold it. Before I secure this in place, I want to figure out where I'm gonna put the main things. So I did some cutouts that will help me like just lay it out, you know, help me like visualize it before I start drilling holes everywhere. So I'm gonna do that real quick. It's not up to scale, but the paper was only so big, you know? I think that's gonna work. To support this, I'm gonna use a strip of wood. Luckily, I have a lot of scrap wood, so I'm gonna go through that and see what I can find. I'm using the little bit of black spray paint I have left so that the strips all blend in with the wall. I spend a lot of time working by myself, and sometimes I have to figure out how to do a two-people job. Like this strip of wood is too long for me to hold it and screw it at the same time, so I'm using the pegboard holders to support the wood piece so that I can screw it in place. I thought putting these here to hold the wood was a genius idea, but now I can't take them off. I gotta lift them up enough. Oh, maybe I can. I just have to force them a little. I can't win. I also struggle with not being strong enough to do certain things, like putting this bracket piece in the wood. I got to the point where I couldn't turn it by hand anymore because it was too hard. So I had to find an alternate way of doing it. This is working. There. Never tell yourself you can't do something. Always ask, how can I do this? Clamps. Clamps is how I did it. Okay, another one. Oh, I think I found the right drill bit on this one because it went right in. Look at that. Oh, so nice. Let's put that. There you go. I hung my first tool. Okay, time to do the rest. So, to mount these, I actually have to take this off because the stud is like right here. Luckily, this thing just comes off easily and I can put it back on. Hi.
What are you doing? Are you gonna have to climb up on the thing every time you want to get your tools?
Not for the most part. I think I can actually get even the ones up here in my tippy toes. It's not very comfortable. That wasn't too bad. What do you think? Finally to the part that I've been looking forward this entire time, and that is hanging all of the little tools. I'm only gonna do this section, but what I wanna do here is all the measuring tools and the levels and things like that because I use them a lot along with the power tools, so I think it makes sense to put them here. Unfortunately, I ran out of time before I could do the second wall, and I have a couple projects lined up that I'm gonna do first. But I'm excited that I get to work inside my workshop now. I'm doing this in the month of July in Florida, and it literally rains every day, and it's not just a little bit of rain. It's storming, thunderstorms, bad every day. I can't express how happy it makes me having a workspace like this. Even though it's simple, it's still not perfect, and still a lot of work to be done, but getting it to this point where I can actually work inside makes me feel like I'm in my happy place. On my next video, I get to do my first project inside the workshop, and it's actually pretty cool because I'll be building a flexible workstation.